this marker doesn't work. Watch, dark. I'm going to embellish this for us.
That's really good.
Uh-huh.
Very nice.
Guys, this is basically all we really want to say.
Watch, dark, matter.
You and 1 million of your closest friends.
Indeed.
Damn.
Nailed it.
Now, I'm sure you guys have already talked about tons of this already. I've only seen episode 1, so bear with me. Science fiction is kind of having a bit of resurgence lately, right?
I mean, like science fiction.
Science fiction, not fantasy, not
fiction.
superheroes, not like,
Yeah.
sword and sorcery. This is like space,
Yeah.
spaceships, the whole 9 yards. Did you guys read the comic books before you took the role?
Not before I took the role, but before we
Shortly
shot.
thereafter.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, this is going to come up a lot for you guys. Strong female characters, right from the off, and it's not even commented on in the series. It's just kind of expected. That 2 comes in, and she kind of just takes over, and it's awesome. And your
Yes.
first fight scene, by the way, kick ass.
Thanks, man.
And her second, and her third, and her fourth. At the time when she kicks 3's ass, you don't kick 3's ass.
I know, we didn't get to fight yet.
Oh, spoiler.
Too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no spoilers. No
Yeah.
spoilers. Yeah, we've got 3 very strong women playing 2 very strong female characters and 1 androgynous character.
Right? Right off the bat, as soon as we started throwing out the names of, there's multi-corporations and stuff, and then there's an android on board. Man, I've seen Alien. That's not going to end well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, her big fight, that's in the first one too, right?
Yes, yeah. In
Yeah.
the cargo bay, that was just amazing.
Kicks a bit of ass.
Yeah, it's so great that they were open to gender-neutral casting.
Right.
For that part, and as well as for 4. Actually, I read for 4 too, which is kind
Did
of
you?
funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Were they
but
only
it's...
seeing Asians for?
Whoa.
Oh,
Wait,
whoa,
wait.
whoa.
But yeah, it's so great. I think Zoe does such a great job in that part, and has this really neutral quality about her, and yet her personality doesn't.
Innocent and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's almost like childlike sometimes, and then she has her quips where you're just like, why are you sassy robot?
I think what we talked about sci-fi having a bit of a resurgence right now in sort of science-based stories on television anyway, and I think the android is central to that story where we've seen shows in the past, but also right now like Ex Machina, deal with this notion of artificial intelligence that's right around the corner. I mean, listen, like when Blade Runner was dealing with that kind of stuff,
Right.
it wasn't really right around the corner, and now it's right around the corner.
Yeah, and
It's
what
there.
defines humanity?
That's it. What defines
The lines get very
a soul?
blurry.
What defines even in a Big Hero 6 for Pete's sake.
Mm-hmm.
No, seriously, right?
Love
At
that
the end,
movie,
when
yeah.
he disappears and he sacrifices his life,
Yeah.
but gives his soul, his electronic
Yeah.
soul, so they can create another one.
Yeah.
And you're like, so that changes the notion of sacrifice. I'm crying because my daughter's crying because he's sacrificing his life. And then they sort of gloss over the fact that at the end, boom,
There he is again.
there he is again. And you're like, well, that wasn't a does that change the notion? If you're not mortal,
Ooh.
does it change your relationship to? I mean, it's just astounding stuff. And this isn't a kid's movie.
That's
And
very
You were on
interesting.
fire today, dude.
Yeah, no,
Right
it's
there,
just-
right?
He's been on fire for a while.
I'm on fire. So
I'm
I
on
think
fire.
look at her. I'm on fire. All right, you want a nice close up?
This is the Anthony Lemke Show. I love it.
That's awesome.
Kick my ass if I push it too far. But I think that's one of the central themes of the show that will ripple its way through the entire first season
Wicked.
in ways that you may not expect,
Yeah.
and that Zoe introduces as in her character of the
Very
android.
cool.
And she has this wonderful sort of nascent human thing going on, nation emotion things. Again, we've seen these things before in sci-fi.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But, we're at a time where, to have this discussion now means something different to us as
Yes.
a society than it did, 10 years ago or 15, 20 years ago.
And I like the fact that you guys are not only dealing with these big science fiction issues, but you're also having fun doing it. I mean, there are action beats, there are great character beats through the entire first episode. Everybody gets like their little moment to shine.
Yeah.
Your entrance two-fisting it. I'm like, dude, how awesome is that?
That's
Yeah,
a win.
you'll back. But I remember TJ Scott just he
Comic
was
book
having
moment.
so much fun.
It's-
TJ
yeah.
Scott is a fantastic and fun director to work with, and every director has their strengths, and his is he's a very
Visuals.
visual guy, and it's fantastic to bring a guy like that in for the first episode to establish a strong
Yeah, the look and the feel.
visual
Yeah.
look for the show.
That beat in particular is
Yeah.
ripped from the comic book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like you can see that particular moment. That is a little window. That is a little comic
Very
window
cool.
in the comic book. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of ripped from the comic book stuff in terms
So
of the feel of the show. I mean, partially that's because that's what they sold to Sci-Fi in
Yes,
the States.
yeah.
They said, listen, this is our show. And
Yeah.
they threw down the comic book, and they went, okay, where do we sign? I mean, literally, it was,
Yeah.
talk to Jay Firestone about that, but I'm pretty sure it was not far off, something like that.
Yeah.
Now-
so we had to deliver that.
It was just a 4-issue miniseries. Is there enough substance to carry on for like 6 seasons in a movie?
You're going to have to watch and find out.
Dude, I hate when you do that.
There's definitely enough substance in the first season, and to be clear, if you were to go out and buy the comics
Yeah.
and read them, our first 2 episodes are essentially the comics.
Okay, sweet.
And then it goes in a way that I don't know whether or not Joe had planned in his mind or not when he was writing the comics, but it takes off from there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because, Joe came from Stargate.
Yeah.
Jay came from Lost Girl. So, there's a huge fan base that are just waiting to see something like this.
That's right. And I
There's
have
no
a
limit.
family of at least 6 in Ottawa, so
Nice. That's very helpful.
Now, are they sharing the television, though, or are there 6 separate televisions?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
if I could buy them 6 separate televisions, that might help our.
Okay,
Just
now,
ask them to keep watching and space that season
right?
over.
Good plan. Now, if you weren't 2 and if you weren't 3, who would you be on the show?
2,
Just like that.
because I want to wear leather.
That vest is pretty cool,
wear
though.
leather.
No, but I meant and have people stare at my ass and say, catcall and stuff. It never happens for 3.
Oh, who would I be?
Say 3, come on.
Okay.
Compliment me.
Okay, I would be 3 to say the stuff. I'd be 4 to play with swords.
Political.
I would be
Totally.
5 because she's so cool and
Stop.
tricky. No,
You can't
I want to
answer
be
the question
everyone.
that way.
I
You
want
said
to be
it could be
everyone.
one other person. I'd be everybody.
I would
Wrong.
be everybody.
Be a one-person show.
Who would you be? Come on, who would you be? Would you be the android because you really want to be a robot?
Let's say that. I am. I would want to be 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Why would you want to be 5? I'm curious about that because 5 is it's probably the most diametrically opposed character. Now, is that because you'd be cool to play that as an actor, or is that something
Yeah,
else?
I think it would be a nice leap to play as an actor. I'm not short enough, unfortunately.
Or
But
15 enough.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
you haven't seen me act 15. I could totally act 15.
I could so totally act
God,
15.
you don't even know what being 15 is like. You're just so old.
17.
Wow.
That's 17.
Wow.
No, it's such an interesting part, and she gets to do such interesting stuff. And I think that I can't talk about where she
No,
goes
of course
with her
not.
character, but her path is so different from ours, and I love
Nice.
where it goes.
Do you feel like do you feel like because one of the things that Jo does so wonderfully well in about 5 is she brings this incredibly vulnerable
She's so innocent. It's
baby
yeah.
deer doe thing that yet it's not weakness.
No.
Somehow she crosses this incredible line
She
between
is.
I believe
strong and weak and vulnerable and not, and you're like, man, that's astounding. Could you do that as an actor? Could you do that? Because I don't know that I could, to be honest. I'm not. I mean,
That's fair.
Everyone's got their things they can do.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible what she does.
Yeah.
There's a reason why she was a part of
Very
our
cool.
crew. I don't think anyone else
Yeah.
would do what Jodelle does. She's an incredible
Nice.
actress, and we're so
Yeah.
lucky to have her.
Because you could have had me because I auditioned for that role.
Did you?
I could see you doing that.
Could
actually.
totally see
Yeah.
you with blue hair.
Totally.
They were
Rocking it.
Your
You're
kids
out.
would love it.
It was a gender neutral thing and an age neutral
I'm
thing.
gonna give you Wet Willie. Like I'm so close.
Now, I'd be totally remiss without mentioning the sets, because everything on there looks physical. I mean, it all looks like a complete set, so it gives you guys like a reality to play in, which looks amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a real
Yeah.
set. The team was just incredible. incredible when they were putting it together. When you get up close and you see what it's actually constructed of, it's mind-boggling how it looks on screen, and even when you're just
High
a few...
tensile graphite, by the way, absolutely. Talking about what it's actually constructed. The best part of it was FTL. Experiencing true FTL was astounding.
Yes.
Where do you go from there?
I love the fact now that after shows like Galactica and stuff, that FTL has now found its way into the lexicon of human speech.
Standard.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's one of the coolest things about sci-fi that in almost more so than, definitely more so than any other literary genre or film genre, it has defined our future.
Yeah.
Folks sitting at their desks.
Oh, there's stuff in
20
Star
years
Trek
ago.
that
Yeah.
we're looking at
Oh,
now
yeah.
that they
Yeah.
created, you know? The minds that are, you know, creating all of this science fiction stuff, they're...
And it's a lot more direct than just it's in the ethos. So, you know, we have flip phones that look like Star Trek.
Communicators, yeah.
It's, you know, I remember reading this great book, by the way, especially for folks who are a little bit science fiction-y, and it's called Wired for War. It's all about warfare technology, artificial intelligence, robotics, and whatever. Like, they preface the entire book by saying, as much as this book is going to blow your mind, I found all of it on Google, so imagine what they're actually doing.
Wow.
And one of the things they talk about in that book is, you remember the Minority Report when he's sort of swiping in the
Yep.
air and whatever else, and that was the first time we kind of really seen that in a big way. The head of DARPA walks to his tech guys and he goes, "I want that." I mean, literally, it goes directly from the mind
Yeah.
of a creator for something that doesn't exist to now it's being worked on by
Boggles.
the American government. So that stuff happens in sci-fi all the time.
Right.
Because artists have sat around, thought about what is the potential, of the human race to create things in the future. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
Very
So,
cool.
fun.
Now, if you have to sum up the season in one word.
You cannot pass to me like this for
Just
the
like
one
That was very
word.
cool, though. I'm totally stealing that.
I do the 25 words. She does one.
Oh, well, that is so not true. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors to see who has to go first. Damn it. Epic.
That'll work.
I nailed it. Oh, I nailed it.
Did you really?
I stole it from an EPK, it's true.
Oh,
Somebody else said it.
I wouldn't have known that.
Rock, paper, scissors for a 3-second time limit.
No, I want to say surprising, but I feel like that's too generic. But really, that's given how much of a page turner this was for us
Right.
as cast, I feel like it's kind of a boring word, but it's kind of bang on in the sense that it was really
It's thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
thrilling, but really
No, you're right.
explorative. Explorative is what I'll
Nice.
say, because it has that element of thrilling, but also surprising. I'll say it's explorative.
It
in a lot of
surprises
ways.
you in so many different ways. It's not like shocking you because of where the story
Yeah.
is going, because it does do that as well. But it surprises you because of how people engage with each other, what people are saying, who these people are. Yeah.
Very
See
nice.
how we're so easy to do that in more than one word. Yeah.
Yeah. Actors.
We don't write the words, we just say them.
Yeah.
Good
and
joke.
a lot of
Joe!
other ones too.
Give us one word to say.
That is awesome.